The thing that I can relate it closest to is like MythBusters, right? That's like the ideal form of research where you basically have this bigger problem. The difference between being a researcher and being someone that goes and works in a normal job is most of the time, if you're a really quirky person, you're going to be a really good researcher. It really comes down to, are you willing to put in a lot of effort and get very little return, but also find a substantial piece of data as a researcher, or would you rather put in the effort and get, society and community to know you and actually build your wealth in a different way? In general, research tends to be a lot like nonprofit work. And I have a nonprofit, it's called Bright Smiles Community Outreach Coalition. Check out brightsmiles.charity if you're interested in anything like that. But the nonprofits realm is really, you are saying to someone that I am trying to provide value for society, and I would like you to fund my project to get this value. And the reality is, research in general, unless it's like pharmaceutical or some sort of R&D for a larger company, is not going to net in more revenue for the system that is paying for it. It's really just a way to build out society's overall understanding of factual evidence for certain things. So when it comes to clinical research versus clinical practicing as a doctor, as a dentist, as a chiropractor, as a psychiatrist, whatever it is, you're going to get a lot more interaction with human beings, and you'll be able to put your personality into it a lot more because you'll necessarily need to do that. I mean, a doctor is only as good as how human they consider their patients. And a lot of that also comes with building communication skills, building sales skills, building management skills in general, understanding business. All of that comes with clinical rapport. When it comes to research, you're going to be learning a lot about what is efficient in terms of getting a certain evidence. The thing that I can relate it closest to is like MythBusters, right? That's like the ideal form of research where you basically have this bigger problem, you break it down into small components, you do a small project to determine whether or not you can get a result, and then you go and make a larger project, and there you have it. But MythBusters did a really fun job, right? They got all these, they came up with their projects, first of all. Second of all, they designed the smaller projects. They had all this filming and stuff to do, and they got a lot of revenue out of that because people were watching, consuming the content, not necessarily for the research that they were doing, but because of the personalities that were presenting the research. So if you're a researcher in general, there's a lot of opportunities available in the United States and the world, but it really comes down to what you personally want to accomplish. Do you want people to know you, or would you rather sit in the back and accomplish some tremendous things for society? That's up to you, but that's the difference between going into clinical practice as a doctor, a dentist, whatever, or going into research. Now, there's a lot of beautiful interactions that you can do in between. If you want to talk more about that stuff, go ahead and DM me. I am working with other research firms and stuff, a lot of public health research in general. If you're a public health person, join the Turabify Network, and we'll honestly do some phenomenal things in terms of oral health and in terms of how all these different Medicaid or medical providers actually work together and function together in society. I'm located in Ohio. This is Dr. Turabify, leaving you with hopefully something to think about. Hopefully you know now what would be a better path for you. Clinical in general also tends to make a lot more money. So if that's something that you actually prioritize and want in life, kind of my recommendation, because you have to be in front of people. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Peace.